All right, so now what I'm going to do is really where the package shines and what I spent a long time on in developing when we nest models. So meaning that like there's a relationship between the model. And I mentioned this in the last video. So suppose we have these recipes. Right now we can look at recipes/1 and see um, recipe 1 or recipes 2, etc. But what happens when we want to allow a user to make a comment on a recipe? And then if I want to see all those comments, so if I want to see all those comments related to a recipe, that would be my index page. And so that would be the index RESTful action. So we would have Flask make view recipes.comments.index. And then the route would be, it would look like this, right? Recipes /1 / comments. And you're not seeing what I typed, and I'm not even seeing what I typed. So comments. So we would need to type in a route, which is recipes, and then this kind of ugly looking thing where we do, but this is just a convention here, an integer, that's the recipe ID, and then the controller, which would be, and I singularize these, and with nested things, quite often I will just tack them on right next to each other. So recipe, comment, controller, and then the model, which we already have a recipe model, so we need a comment model. So I'm just going to copy this just so you can see that this actually works. All right, so here we go, and then we'll see what we got once that runs. So everything ran here. Let's go back to the page. Hey, look at that. So, and it's continuing to run because it's continuing to update files and all kinds of stuff. We can even change here. Let's go to 8, and let's see, we still get the page. All right, so let's see what was created for us, because that is awesome. And then I'll also show you how you can reference this. So let's go here. We don't need this. All right, so controllers, we have a new controller, a recipe comment controller. I'm not going to have just a comment controller. If you want to do that, you can do what we've done in the previous videos. This is specifically nesting these things. So you have a recipe, comment, controller, and then you have the index action or method for that controller. The new controller is registered here in our controllers. We have a new model, which is comment model, stubbed out just the same. And then we have a new route. Now, this is where it gets kind of cool, in my opinion. So if we go to app, we go to routes, all right? So I don't see a recipes comments folder. Like in the controller, I have a recipe comment controller. I would almost expect to see a recipes comments control route. It's actually nested. It's the routes, recipes, comments, and then there's our routes for our recipes comments. So if I look in here, I have my recipes / the number / comments. And notice I'm sending through recipe ID. That goes into here, and then the controller also receives the recipe ID. Excellent, because you'll need that in order to get the recipes so that you can get the comments of that recipe. But the cool part is, okay, we have the generic dunder init file, but go back one dunder init, in this case recipes, and I registered the commons blueprint in the recipes. What? I know, that's crazy. Why did I do that? Well, I did that because now you can, it even says it down here, you can reference it doing this. When you want a route, you just do recipes.comments. And then your action. So in this case, index. I kept getting so confused on, is it dot or is it underscore? And so in this, the way that I've set this up for you, it's always just going to be dot, so you don't have to remember, is it dot or underscore? So it just makes it so much easier. All right, so here I'm going to copy this just so you believe me. I'm going to go to my templates, which is mirrored in exactly the same way as my routes here. So I've got recipes, comments, and then there's my init file. Just so I sanity check here, I'm just going to put hi, dash, 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 save it, and hey, I am editing the right page. All right, so let's put a separate div down here so I get a new line, and let's do this. Let's just stick in that, copy directly from here, and see what we get. Oh, so nice. We get recipes /1/comment, which is exactly the URL that we want. So if you go like this, you turn this into an anchor tag, and you say the href is here, and you got to end that anchor tag, and then you say click me. Right? And let's just, so that we know, let's just make this 77. All right. So click me, come here, boom, look at that. URL changed to 77. So awesome. I love this. I'm sure you can tell. Just made my life so much easier. And that was a ton to type in the terminal. I didn't even type it. I copied it from my own tutorial. So just so you know, you can do this. Instead of all this typing, you can just use the generator flags, which is why I spent so long on this package. Minus route controller model, and because you didn't have the comment model at the time, and it will generate exactly what it did. Just so you can see that in action in the next video, I will go one step deeper into this rabbit hole, and we will allow for users to upload photos or images to their comments. And so we'll have recipes.comments.images.index. All right, see you in the next video.